movies we are hyped for in 2017. First guest, fittingly,
Hi.
Ian Hank.
Hey.
We talk about movies.
Sometimes.
2017.
2017.
It's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
Saw some winners
Yeah.
and some ones that didn't meet my expectations.
Indeed.
Like The Beguiled.
Ah.
I expected more.
Haven't seen it yet.
But
But
2017.
that's generally what I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was okay. But 2017, we got many more months, many big hitters still on the horizon. I want one movie
One?
or more. You asked if you could do more. I said for you, yeah.
Okay.
Because we're working on a skeleton crew today. All of the allies will not be featured in this video.
I'll like talk about 2 of them and just mention 3 of them.
3 movies, all right.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I mean, obviously Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Disaster Artist looks hilarious.
Yeah, I know nothing about this movie. Tell us what it is.
It's based on the book that the co-star Greg or whatever wrote about Tommy Wiseau's experience making The Room.
Okay.
And it's a fictionalization of that book, starring James Franco and Seth Rogen and like everybody.
For those of you that don't know what The Room is, it is a notoriously
Yeah.
bad movie.
So bad it's good.
Yes.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa. It's pretty
Does
amazing.
he know this movie's being made? Is he involved in this?
I don't know if he's involved.
If he
I
doesn't,
assume he knows it exists.
okay, because if he's against this, I'm kind of like sad.
He and Greg also are making another movie. I don't know if it's out yet, but it's called Best Friends, but the R is in brackets, so it's also like Best Fiends.
Best Fiends.
But it's like Best Friend Fiends.
Nice.
Okay. Which looks ridiculous.
It's a comedy, so it might be a little lower on my list.
Disaster Artist? Yeah,
Yeah,
it
but
looks
if you-
pretty gnarly.
If you say it's amazing, Ian, I'll probably go.
I mean, I'm excited for it.
You're gonna test the waters for me.
I'm interested in The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which is by the guy who directed Dogtooth and The Lobster. This one's got Nicole Kidman in it.
Okay.
It looks pretty dark. It's a horror thriller. Who knows?
Whoa,
Who
this
knows?
is not even on my radar.
Yeah,
You're
get
bringing
it on that
You're bringing
radar.
a horror movie to me right
Get
now?
it all up on that radar.
What?
I don't know much about it, but it looks pretty crazy. A Ghost Story also sounds cool, but Casey Affleck is like weird, so who knows?
True.
But the 2 that I actually want to talk about are Blade Runner 2040 whatever. 9? 2049?
Yes.
Man, I hope it's good.
It's
the
gonna be
trailers,
good.
the visuals look pretty spot on.
It's going to be.
I
2 words for you.
huh.
Dennis Villeneuve.
Yeah. Villeneuve?
So I did an
do you
episode
say
about
it?
this. Someone from Canada, because he's Canadian, said Villeneuve
Okay.
was like the pronunciation. They
Yeah.
tried to like type it out. I think
Villeneuve. That's what I
or
thought
Villeneuve.
it was. Villeneuve. Villeneuve.
Yeah. He's my favorite director working
Oh, yeah.
right now.
Sicario.
So it's easily my number 1.
I need to see Enemy. I never saw that. Did you do Prisoners too?
Yeah. Don't show Enemy to Ben.
Oh yeah. There's some
Whoa.
arachnids in there. Yeah, so hopefully Blade Runner's good. I have hopes and fears.
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary when they're digging up a sequel to a revered and
Yeah.
classic film.
Yeah.
You know?
The fact that Harrison is in it kind of bums me out, honestly.
Because the whole thing of
Because it's
whoa,
like,
could
was
he
he
be
a replicant? Yeah, like then now it's kind of like, well, nailing that.
Yeah. I watched it for our episode. I rewatched it.
That's a very firm finger on
Because I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
Because I rewatched it for our episode, and there is a scene straight up where Deckard looks. He's like arguing with her in the bathroom, and his eyes go like replicant style.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you purposefully put that in post-production
Well, and
to mess with our minds, and now you're saying, okay, well, I guess not.
Well, and all the unicorn stuff in the director's cut, like I think Ridley Scott has gone on record saying he's a replicant, but who knows?
Who knows?
Ridley Scott lost his mind, so
2049, we're gonna find out.
yeah. Maybe he's just a different model that lives forever. Who knows? Then the last one I want to talk about is The Dark Tower. Having read all the books, I'm nervous but excited.
You should be nervous. Do you want to know why?
Because we've seen like nothing of it, and it comes out in like 3 days.
Do you want to know what I heard?
Huh.
This movie's like 94 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
How could it be that short?
No
Are
idea.
they still doing the TV show thing too? Like, who knows?
I don't know. I heard this movie's straight up like 94 minutes.
But I did hear that it's a continuation, not a direct redo, which to me immediately means one big huge thing. To those of you who've read the books, you'll know what I'm talking about probably, and we should know if it's different almost immediately. But yeah, so that could be really interesting.
Nice.
But
I love
yeah.
Idris Elba.
Oh yeah, me too.
We don't have time, unfortunately. I would love to ask you what The Dark Tower is. I really know nothing about it. I know it's Stephen King. I know it's comic books. I know it's novels. But that is basically what I know.
It's an overarching Stephen King meta narrative that kind of like Stephen King is in it at one point. Like it gets pretty crazy. Like his characters from his books are in it.
That's weird.
Yeah, it gets
the dude
pretty
from
crazy.
Thinner in it.
I don't know. Possibly. There's like one villain character that apparently is like peppered throughout that's in like The Stand and like a few other things. I can't remember his name right now, but yeah. Anyway, Dark Tower is pretty weird.
Thinner. Greetings, Mr. Bloodworth.
What's up?
Talk to me about, I just want everyone out there to know Bloodworth watches some awesome TV shows, and you don't talk to me enough about them.
Sure. Yeah.
So let's
yeah,
hear
but
a movie
that's the
you're
thing is
pumped
like
on.
that's like the zone that I'm in right now for whatever reason because I think it like fits in easier to where it's like okay, I can go grab dinner, I can watch a TV show, catch up on stuff that I'm watching, but I haven't really been into that movie scene very much the past couple of years. So like, you ask me what's coming up, I'm like, let me look at Wikipedia. I don't know.
Bloodworth, I want you to know, whenever you watch an episode of some sick show, just tell me.
Right.
Open invitation. If it's 3 in the morning.
Did you check out Dirk Gently yet?
No.
Dirk Gently's coming back.
I don't even know what that is.
Catch up on that. Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
BBC America version of Dirk Gently that just started last year. Good stuff. Okay. But no, for movies. Okay, so this is a weird one, but I mean, I am interested. Is Blade Runner?
Blade Runner,
which Ian was talking about.
Yes.
And I don't have a lot of experience firsthand with Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I think I just actually saw the movie within the last year and a half, 2 years.
Awesome. What did you think?
I mean, I liked it. I was intrigued, but it's this weird thing because it's so influential that there have been so many other people that have done these kinds of storylines
Isn't that weird?
since
Yeah.
then.
So going back to the original, it's like, oh, well, they've done this. Did you feel that way, or
in a way? The other thing that's really kind of funny to me is there's some industrial bands and stuff that I listened to back in the day that have all these Blade Runner samples in their music, and so I'd hear these things in the movie. There's I've heard this 100 times before, but I've never seen the movie.
That's awesome. Do you know which cut you watched?
I don't. I think it was just something I recorded off of, someone doing a movie channel on DirecTV.
Yeah.
So I don't think I watched it with commercials though. So it wasn't one of those long, chopped up 3-hour long things.
Was there a Harrison Ford voiceover?
I don't remember that specifically.
Okay. I think you would have remembered, so you probably saw the good.
But because of the influence
version.
it's had on so many things, Cyberpunk and Shadowrun and just a million other different things.
Yeah.
And kind of I think I can kind of compare it to Mad Max.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really watch Mad Max back in the day. Maybe seen some bits and pieces here and there when other people were watching it.
Yeah.
But seeing that come to fruition in such a great way.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping for the same for Blade Runner. I'm hoping that they really just do what they can now that people know what it is and people are anticipating it.
Yeah.
And actually, really do it justice.
Bloodworth, you continue to be an inspiration for the phrase, it's never too late. It's never too late. There's so many good things. You just played the Mother trilogy, or 2 of them, right? You're waiting on Mother 3?
Yeah. So 3, I'm going to figure out something if Nintendo doesn't get on the ball. But yeah.
And you just watched Blade Runner. You just watched Mad Max recently.
Oh, Deus Ex, another one. Very Blade Runner inspired.
Yes.
Both
oh my
Deus
gosh,
Ex,
yes. Yep. Awesome. It's never too late.
Yeah.
Damian, what will it take for you to watch Boruto?
Going there, huh?
Putting you on the spot. Right, we're filming this right now. What will it take?
When the series is done, I'll watch it all.
When it's done, that's
done.
10 years,
10 years
from
from
now. Okay, that's never happening. Wow. Dang it. Damiani. It's a good year for movies. A lot of big hitters. A lot of good directors coming back. Soderbergh coming out. Logan Lucky. Catherine Bigelow directing Detroit. A lot of big ones. What are you most excited for?
Like how you busted all that out, and the ones I'm gonna
It's because it's been an epic year.
Well, all right. Well, first let me start.
Like directors get me so
Let's
excited.
start-
That's why.
Start off real quick.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasure. I didn't miss it in theaters, but I finally watched it because it came out on Amazon to rent.
Yeah.
The Fate of the Furious.
Nice.
Guilty
Yes.
pleasure series for me.
Absolutely. I have a long and intimate connection with the Fast and the Furious.
So I don't know how many people. I'm assuming a lot of people have seen all the Lethal Weapon movies, and the amount of family building they do with their characters.
Oh, yeah.
That over the times, like Murtaugh's family and stuff, bringing in Riggs, and just getting to know their family. They kept using the same actors as they grew up, like the Murtaugh kids. Didn't bring in Joe Pesci, like everyone, even the chief, like they're all part of like this like family there, and there's all these inside jokes that you only get if you watch the series. And that's for me, it's like that's Fast and the Furious. Like you can enjoy each one on its own, but like you get a little bit more out of it.
Totally.
When like I feel like if you've never seen any of the previous ones, you have they do a good job explaining Elena sort of, but like you have no idea who Elena is. You're like,
Totally.
Who's Elena? What happened?
One of my
here?
favorite little nods is Corona, which is now Heineken apparently. Ever since Kurt Russell came into the picture, the Coronas are taking a back seat to the Heinekens. I'm a little upset about it.
Mr. Nobody.
Yeah.
Two things. I still remember both. The first one though, I love the scene with The Rock, with the girls' soccer game.
Yeah.
When he does has them all do like the Hawaiian dancing. I was like, oh yeah.
The other team is so intimidated.
I just don't want to even play. And then later on, when like the Secret Service comes, he's like, and he makes this is so bad. Like these movies, like they I don't think they ever crossed the line, but like they do have some like humorous stuff that like definitely appeals to a certain audience.
Yeah.
The line about when the agent's like looking up the crowd and stuff and goes, "Wow, like you got quite the crowd over there," and he's like, "Yeah, a lot of the moms come out and cheer on their daughters and stuff. Looks like there's a little bit more moms than there are daughters here."
Yeah.
And then The Rock looks over, is like highlight. I was like, "Whoa, The Rock!"
The Rock, dude.
And every scene with The Rock fighting people, he just like looks at them. It's so
the uneasy alliance of The Rock and Statham.
Oh my gosh.
Was probably my favorite part of Furious 8 because I prefer Fast and Furious 1 and Tokyo Drift and 5 a lot. 5 was kind of 5 felt like a culmination to me. But that's when they started going with the heist route, which is strange because I love heists, but I prefer the franchise to stick with street racing, and it's gotten so far removed from that. I did enjoy the scene with Vin Diesel racing the car against a guy, like racing it backwards, because the nod to Paul Walker being the Buster and the NOS, the nitrous, and referencing Fast and the Furious 1. It's emotional.
There's good stuff in there.
Yeah, there's some genuine emotion, which is there if you allow it to be. Yeah. If you like everything Paul Walker related is deeply personal for me. So when they're talking about like his family and should we get him and like no, let him be. It's intense.
There's another good payoff, another nice tribute to him in the film. That was really nice. But that's kind of the past because it came out earlier this year.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying the two I'm looking forward to. One, because I don't think either of the first two were that great in the Thor Ragnarok. So just because the trailer vibe is like, you know what? Sure, ape the Guardians vibe and stuff. That's cool. Like if nothing else, the other ones haven't they've been okay. Well, Thor the Dark World was not that great, but it's like we got to do something about Thor. Like Thor's popular, but the movies haven't been the best. So it's like, hey, make Guardian style. And just seeing Jeff Goldblum, seeing Loki's back.
Kate Blanchett looks like
oh gosh, that scene where she
epic as a villain.
Like
and the whole thinking about her possibly being connected with Thanos. They haven't revealed any of that. I love how much information they're releasing, but also withholding. It's like, hey, look at all these people that are going to be Avengers, and it's like they drop 25 names, but they leave off like, is Kate Blanchett gonna be in that? Is Coulson finally gonna make a return?
And what's a weird thing, because I don't consider this a spoiler, because he's technically not in the movie anywhere. He's just in a credits sequence. Not like the credits are still scrolling and you see him dancing. Jeff Goldblum was in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Volume 2 credits, just like doing a dance scene. I'm like, wait, you were not in the movie at all, but you're gonna be in Thor Ragnarok.
The credits.
Yeah, because they showed all the characters
People,
doing dancing and stuff, and they bring him out. I'm like, wait, what?
That's weird.
Did I miss something? Like,
That's bizarre.
So his characters got something. Yeah, I would like to see like a really good Thor movie made.
Especially Hulk is gonna have room to breathe now because it's just him and Thor.
Like Hulk can go loose. So
Yeah.
maybe some good Hulk stuff. The other one, because I knew nothing about it beforehand, and I kind of like this. The Dark Tower.
Dark Tower.
I just
yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
the
love Idris
Gunslinger.
Elba.
The Gunslingers. That trailer,
Yeah.
like.
Idris Elba is one of those actors where I'll just watch anything with him. Have you seen Luther?
No.
Okay, check it out.
But.
And The Wire, obviously.
Yeah,
Stringer Bell.
Stringer Bell.
Stringer Bell.
Come
Mastermind.
on. Stringer Bell. Come on.
Yes.
That was my first exposure.
Culmination.
It's pretty good stuff.
Dark Tower. Do you know? Are you familiar with it, like Ian, or no?
No, so I'll
You said no. You said you don't.
Yeah, I don't know anything
nothing.
about it, but like
Yeah.
the movie is apparently after it's like a sequel or takes place further in the timeline of like all the events of everything that happened in that universe. But all I know is like gunslingers doing these cool like old-fashioned style like guns, but doing like crazy stuff. And then Matthew McConaughey is like, "See the devil? He's worse.
Evil always wins.
Have you told him yet? Anyone who walks with you dies."
Yeah,
It's
it's
like Matthew. Yeah, it's like Matthew
Full
McConaughey
ham.
getting to be evil.
Full
He finally
ham
gets to
McConaughey.
be evil instead of being a good guy. He's evil now.
If it is after all of the events, again, who am I to say? Because I know nothing about the Dark Tower, but I think that's a really cool route for stories to go, especially for something as substantial as the Dark Tower. It's like, oh, we're gonna go after all of the events instead of trying to just remake it for the screen. I think that's a really cool way to go. Cool. Thanks, Damiani. Brian Jones.
Hi.
I am excited and surprised right now. Because I thought when I when I planned this episode, it was gonna be Last Jedi, Last Jedi, Last Jedi. Everyone, I thought every single person.
Right.
Explosions are going off outside, thinking about Last Jedi. Not one person has said The Last Jedi.
If I come at you with Justice League, are you prepared for that?
What?
That's the thing,
I was
man.
not expecting
That's the
this.
thing. As disappointed as I was in Man of Steel, in Batman vs Superman, in in the
Suicide Squad. You forgot
Suicide
about that one,
Squad.
didn't you?
Ooh, I did.
Yeah.
And you reminded me of that.
Yes.
And just kind of where that's been going, and really trying to like sift through the ashes and just kind of find those things that I like. I've been dying for a Justice League movie my whole life. I mean, like, to actually see like actors portray them, to actually try to figure out like how this story comes together. What are they gonna do with Aquaman? Like, what? Like, am I gonna walk out of that movie like? Because I could see him being a total sleeper character. I mean, walking out and being like, loved him.
He
actually
looks great from the trailer.
But initially, like, I was upset because like I'd never seen Aquaman, so it's like my nerdy take on comic books is like start at the origin and then do weird things with it. But don't like right out of the gate be like, let's do the 8th incarnation of that character.
Yeah.
But so like I'm curious, like kind of like the Emoji Movie, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm curious. You know, like I just want to see like what was really going on. Haven't seen Superman yet. Supposedly we're getting that movie this year. So like I think that Comic-Con trailer this week is going to be ride or die for
Yes.
for Justice
Yes.
League. Easily going to make or break it.
I am extremely nervous, but I just don't like. I love your enthusiasm because you're so nervous. You're not a big fan of what they've done, but how can you not be hopeful for this? Like,
right after Wonder Woman, sure. Like
Justice League.
I
This
know.
is happening.
I know.
On screen.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions of dollars being spent to bring this to life. Like, fingers crossed, right?
But like growing up, with DC and then loving Avengers as much as I did, and like not like I knew nothing about Thor, like knew Hulk, like the character, but like never read Hulk. and like new Captain America growing up, like new Iron Man, like never really got into Iron Man, like Black Widow and like these other characters, like certainly had no reference on them, and then just walked out of Avengers like that was so well done as far as how complicated it is to bring all of those characters in. And it's like if I loved it that much, like I'm just gonna be on pins and needles, man. Watching
I'm hoping because you know, I equate it to the cinematic universes to like television kind of, where it's, you know, season by season. And you know, the one thing about TV is when you get into the later seasons, everyone always says, oh, you know, it's getting better and better. Like every show just keeps getting better and better. And I'm hoping that because they don't have to build the characters' origins anymore, you know, they've introduced Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman, like it's done.
Probably a little cyborg intro at the beginning, and
then
Flash certainly, but
you can just let loose on a good story rather than try to like build up a character. So
hit the gas, baby, floor it.
Yes.
I got another one you might not be expecting.
Okay.
But it's horror. It, baby.
It. Yes, I was hoping somebody would say this. Yes.
It.
Two-parter.
I know, and that's the way to do it, man. I've evolved in my thinking of how to adapt nerd properties to animation or to television or to film, and I'm really in the camp that like you got to change something. You can't just make it a Xerox. Like you got to just do some angle on it or something that like given the opportunity, we can change it a little bit, but not too much. And it's a really fine line. And so I've only seen a couple of things like the Dark Knight Returns. I thought was a great the two-parter animated series they did for that because it reminded me so much of the comic, but they took a lot of the unnecessary stuff out, a lot of the stuff that was like wouldn't make sense outside of the 80s. Like they made some really smart decisions there, and I think it's a very smart decision to just vivisect that story, just like right down the middle, just boop, like move it to the side.
One more two.
Basically give that young cast their own movie. Be like, here, you can, and like you got the kid from Midnight Special, and like they just seem so real. Like maybe I need to watch more television, but I was looking at all these kids, I'm like, I recognize him, but I don't recognize any of these other kids. And I love their attitude and that story, man. Have you ever read that book?
Yes.
That story, Huber.
I know. It is some heavy duty.
I mean, you look at like Stranger Things, and you ask people like how much they enjoyed that, and that was kind of an issue. They put that was a danger they kind of put themselves into. Like their friend goes missing, but at the same time like they're kind of introducing themselves to these evil powers. They're not necessarily cognizant of them or don't necessarily care about these kids. It is going after these kids. Like he specifically singles them out, knows they can't run to anybody. They have no friends. They can't other than themselves. They can't go to their parents. They can't go to the teachers. They can't go to they get bullied every time they go to school. It's such a dynamo story, and I'm so excited to not see it rushed. To them not only see like a lot of this stuff play out. My absolute favorite scene from the book was not in the miniseries when they did it, and so I'm really curious. I think I saw like a little flash of it. I'm curious if they do it. It's a scene on the bridge. If anybody's read the book,
the fact that they're doing two movies though, it's so awesome because it's like you feel that they know exactly what they're doing, and they're not franchising it, They're like, we're gonna do a trilogy. Like trilogy just reeks of franchise and corporate suits. Just like, we need two movies to do it. It just feels.
And you're gonna watch
authentic.
the first one, and then you're gonna watch the second one, and you're gonna want to go back and watch the first one again.
Yep.
And so very excited to see that. To see them bring stuff to that story. That I welcome. It's like, please change it up, do weird stuff with it, surprise me. Because the end of it,
don't spoil anything.
The way the book is written, it goes back and forth. The end has been very highly criticized about kind of like how are they gonna do that in film? And so I'm curious. I'd like them to do kind of like a Watchmen, how they changed that ending. I actually dug the way they ended Watchmen.
Me
I thought that was very
too.
smart.
I know. Me
because
too.
Because it's tough. It's tough to bring comics. It's tough to bring something that you read or you see a picture of and you go, that's scaring me. And it's like if I added 23 more frames on it and gave it motion, it might not. It might not. You're like seeing it frozen in that moment or imagining this horrific monster in your head. You actually see the thing. And so, very curious. Shut up and take my money to see how they pull off it. But let's talk about Star Wars. I mean, we
finally come.
This
the
is
finale,
episode
as it should be.
This is episode 8, man.
This
is, and you know what? I mean, like Mark Hamill doesn't like this movie, man. This is some serious stuff. Like emotions. I'm gonna have emotions after this film, no matter what. I mean, like whether I liked it or not. I mean, I had serious emotions coming out of 7. every time they just released the documentary when they did D23, and you hear, you know, Daisy Ridley being like, yeah, people are gonna are gonna be shocked by this movie. And Rian Johnson has said like he's really defending it and being like, I know Mark Hamill's come out and said he wasn't a fan of like where I went with his character, but I think the worst thing for Star Wars to be is predictable, you know, especially because Brad put that joke in Slack about poetry, about like the Lucas line about us predicting about like how 9's gonna end. Yeah. And like, you know, the thing that I liked about 7 was that it did remind us of the things we love about Star Wars, but of course it changed a lot of dramatic things that can never go back, that can never, you know, that we had to, you know, say goodbye to some people and to turn the story in a different direction. And I really want to shake things up. I would love having conversations with rattled Star Wars fans. Yes. You know, and I think I'm ready for that.
The night is darkest before the dawn, Jones. Do you think this is going to be the most depressing Star Wars film ever made?
I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily depressing, because I think I think if you have Star Wars fans like debating this, if you kind of reinvigorate this like something that like back in the day we used to talk about, like if, you know, Vader fought this person, or like light side versus dark side, and like actually getting into some like theological debates about like, was that right what Luke did? You know, like, would you have done what Daisy did or what Poe did, or the decisions that they made? Like, what would you do if you were Kylo? And so I like that there's so many of the cast is younger now, that like a lot of people just coming into Star Wars now can kind of see themselves in these characters making decisions. Not to mention, you know, rest in peace Carrie Fisher, like her last film, like I'm just gonna be wrecked, like that whole movie. Like she's literally gonna be like pressing a button, and I'm just like, oh, I'm not prepared.
No one is prepared. No one is prepared.
But I really can't think, because the thing is, like, I've met people in life on many occasions that are way bigger Star Wars fans than I am. And
there's always somebody bigger.
I think I love just the world of Star Wars, and I don't necessarily attach myself to one particular thing. Like, Return is my favorite of the films, so like, you know, use that as a barometer for like how weird my Star Wars opinions are. It's just like that Vader fight and that Yoda death are just too much. It's too
Jabba
much, man.
So
too
you
much.
got me. You got
Lando
me.
flying the Falcon. It's just too, you know.
Jabba the Hutt, dude.
And so I'm just looking forward to the aftermath of this film, and I'm looking forward to kind of being in the middle of this trilogy. And of course, just like, I'm so hyped for this movie. We're so hyped for 8, and then the second it's over, it's like, well, here we go now. Now we're just gonna sit back and wait for 9, wait to wrap this thing up.
So you're hyped for the end game of this movie. You're
for
hyped.
Everything. I'm hyped for the Han Solo film. I'm hyped, even though all the directors, you know, shenanigans. Like, I'm still so hyped. And I if I think really hard, you know, like I was saying earlier, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan in the world. I can't think of anything getting a sequel that has me more excited. You know, it's like, oh yeah, we're excited to go see this. Let's go see the movie we're excited about. Yeah. You go into like an episode whatever, and it's just like, shut up, quiet.
Yeah, it's episode 8. It's episode 8. You know, serious business.
Like Amanda sitting next to me, just being like, okay,
just everyone take a deep breath.
And I liked it because we got the prequels, and then I had to deal with all this Harry Potter cinematic business for 10 or 11 years with Amanda. Now we're back to Star Wars. So,
to end this, Jones, one last thing. What is like one dream? What is one dream you want to happen in episode 8, or one of your hopes? Something you'd love to see
again
in episode 8. A character reveal, or someone come in, or something happen. Luke goes to the dark side, or something. What do you want to see?
I mean, what would really tickle me is like just even in one little shot, like going by, because they did a little of that in Rogue One, but like, if Dash Rendar or Mara Jade or come on,
Kyle Katarn or something,
you know, like even just in even if they just said Kyle and like you had to put those pieces together. But that's just me being hyper nerd.
Cool.
But really nervous about how the burden of handling Leia. You guys were just talking about Fast and the Furious, and it's just like I can imagine them doing those reshoots on the beach of like using this stand-in for Paul Walker and being like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's not gonna work. Like, people are gonna be so angry that we're doing this. And so it's like, we know she's not in 9, so is it gonna be the kind of like, are they gonna like call her 9 and be like, thanks, Leia? Or like, are they gonna make some tough decisions about like how to remove her from the story? Yeah. And anytime it just kind of, if they play Leia's theme in episode 8, I'll be on the floor with all the gum and sticky popcorn and Coke, just crying my eyes out. So yeah, fingers crossed.
All right, everybody, that was half of the Allies hype for 2017. A lot of good movies coming up, from small directors to big directors to huge franchises to smaller indie films. It has been a hell of a year. It will continue to be a hell of a year. This is a Star Wars year. You really can't get bigger
They're
than
all Star
that.
Wars years from here on out, actually, for a
Yeah.
while.
I'm at Michael P. Huber. If you want to talk if you want to talk about what you're hyped for on 2017, Talking Syndrome. I'm flipping my words right now.
Sorry.
Talking Syndrome this Saturday, 11 a.m. on twitch.tv/EasyAllies. I'll get to see what you're hyped about for 2017. A lot of good stuff.
Wait, what day is that? It's a Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday. We'll almost be through probably most of the big panels at Comic-Con, so
Yep.
we'll have some
Saturday, 11
some
a.m.
fun stuff to talk about.
Be there. It's always fun. It's always fun to just chat about what we're talking about. Anything to get hyped on. So
Talk, then chat.
talk, then chat. We're Easy Allies. Thanks for watching.